Please feel free to join my Discord server to send video requests, chill, and just chat about various different topics. Link is in the description down below, and if you're watching this late, don't worry, I made sure it can't expire. Hope to see you all there.
And it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. It's terror time again. And you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time.
Hello everyone, this is Daikaiju SpaceZilla approaching ya, and welcome back to Spooktober time, Hollowvember. And for the third episode, we're gonna take a look at a certain horror flick with a cult following that I'm honest to God surprised I haven't talked about on this show yet. I'd ask what that film is, but who am I kidding? I know you fuckers can't read. So I'll just say it right here. That film is none other than Pumpkinhead. Back in the late 1980s, the film company De Laurentiis Entertainment Group sent Stan Winston the poem by Ed Justice, expecting him to craft the special effects like the majority of his work. However, Stan took interest in what he read and felt the desire to put the entire project under his vision, as the artist's directorial debut. The film would underperform at the box office, only leading up to made-for-television sequels for the Sci-Fi Channel. Oh, please don't bring up blood! Pumpkinhead would earn a cult following amongst horror fans, though, and the Demon of Vengeance is now somewhat of a favorite with the community these days, with a remake that's been in talks for ages and is finally gonna be hitting Paramount+. Took them long enough. I thought it was gonna happen the day Alexander Bataya of Digital Foundry got a whiff of some good pussy.
For that. The one thing, I know you were talking about the character from a bygone era. I do think the character model was actually like very distracting in not a good way, because like with the camera angles chosen, it just felt like this game seems like a game that came out in like 002 in terms of its, you know, like character design. It's like a bit old and not flattering, I don't think, for a modern audience. In comparison to something like Forspoken, which has, you know, I mean, yes, it has much more realistic looking character designs. It's not these hyper proportioned something or another's, but it also seemed, I don't know, a bit more grounded in a way that I found much more appealing than
consensually. In 1957, Tom Harley hides his family inside a cabin due to an evil demon out to hunt whoever he was summoned to kill, along with those foolish enough to get in his way. However, a young Ed witnesses a monster killing the man he was called to seek revenge on. So during his entire lifetime, these sets of events scarred him, and he made every effort to avoid Pumpkinhead, till an accident occurs by a few city folks that tragically took the life of his beloved son.
Look, the kid's father showed up, he took the kid away. And I think everything's gonna be okay.
Really?
Yes.
Did you tell him what happened?
I told him it was an accident.
And?
And he just looked at me.
What do you mean he just looked at you?
I don't know.
Don't lie to me!
He looked at me like he wanted to kill me.
City boy! City boy! You are adorable!
This motivates Ed to visit the old witch the entire village feared for ages to summon the demon he spent his life avoiding to avenge his little boy. Pumpkinhead just might be one of the more different teen horrors to come out of the 1980s. It's neither a typical generic slasher, nor just another monster movie about a killer demon on the hunt. It's a straight up hybrid that also brings a new take on the revenge thriller. To anybody who doesn't know, I'm a fan of revenge stories. Nothing is more satisfying than seeing a piece of shit individual who went out of their way to affect the lives of others get what they deserve. Pumpkinhead's not only unique from other revenge stories because of taking a demon of vengeance to do the dirty work, as though that is separate from your usual action hero to come from such, the people on the receiving end aren't all bad, and even the most douchey of the group isn't the scummiest man on Earth, as even he didn't do it on purpose and was in fact frightened about what came from the accident. The message of revenge comes with a price is far from unique to Pumpkinhead, but what I like is this movie has its own way of showing us that. It is not realized through loved ones or anything like that getting hurt by the reckless hatred, as emotional as that could be, but it's told through the lenses for guilty by association without having a clear insight on what completely happened here. The after effect of Pumpkinhead's arrival is not common in these types of revenge stories. In stuff like Hell Girl, it's clear that you're going to hell after death, but no haunting after effects are shown to truly give off that regrettable vibe. The kid just getting up and asking what he did was terrifying, but also played with Harley's grief.
What'd you do, Daddy?
Which, being that this is all related to a demonic summoning, it complements that aspect. The connection established between both Ed and Pumpkinhead is unexpected and should be that of interest to most of you. It's pretty deep for a film like this too, since the very demon he regrets calling upon is technically him now, which develops into multiple events that only gives Ed the courage to end the whole thing, since it serves as the final nail in the coffin to how such a problem can be solved. It's a combo of supernatural horror, the slasher genre, with a strong dose of revenge formula thrown in. Only characters I would describe as truly fleshed out is Ed, Mr. Wallace, and the Old Witch, while all the teenagers are mainly grabbed from a generic slasher flick like Friday the 13th or Halloween.
No, the cops found like her foot or something in this big pot with all these carrots and onions. It was like foot stew.
Look, I know some people get off to sucking on them toes, I'm not judging, but this is some Dan Schneider shit right here, what the fuck?
No, I think this was the guy, too. This was the guy.
But there are those few people that you feel bad for due to having no part in the accident, and it is nice to see the stuck-up pricks get what they only deserve. Now, Ed Harley is played by the legendary Lance Henriksen, known for classics such as Aliens, The Terminator, and the best of them all, Super Mario Bros. The movie. The father and son dynamic between Ed Harley with his son is heartwarming, and it gives all the more reasoning to sympathize with his death. Since watching their interactions, you feel like his son has always got left, and that very thing being taken from him's gotta hurt. We see Harley start off as a happy old father grateful to have his kid, to an angry grieving parent out for his revenge, which eventually leads him to understand that this isn't the way, shaping Ed into a badass protagonist willing to take what life he's got left for redemption.
Can't you stop this? Can't you call it off?
Nothing can call it off. But I'm gonna send it back to wherever hell it come from.
As much as I praise Lance as Ed, I am about to be a tiny bit critical of him on one particular scene here.
It's what you wanted.
No, not like this. Not like this. I see it. This is wrong.
Nothing I can do. It's gotta run its course now. What did you think? It'd be easy, neat and clean and painless. You're a fool.
If you won't help me, if you don't help me, then I'll do it myself. I'll do it. I'll do it myself.
You'll fail, Ed Harley. You'll fail and you'll die, too.
Then I'll die. Then I'll die.
I wouldn't label this delivery here below average, but in comparison to the rest of the movie, the slight overacting is noticeable. The witch outstaged him in every possible way. The actress is clearly having the time of her life, but still takes the role serious enough to come across as creepy and mysterious. The witch as a character doesn't have this big background of who or what she is, but I think that would have ruined the appeal. If you want to know my reasoning for that, just watch Blood Wings.
It is too late to help me like it is too late to help the others.
This can't be. What do you mean, others?
The ones he's going to kill.
Sorry you had to see that.
The last standout would be George Buck Flower as Mr. Wallace. You could argue he isn't in the film all that much, but that doesn't downplay his importance, as his moments warning Ed to stay away had a huge impact on his character. He's seen some shit in his day, and he tries to act like it's not real so nobody is dumb enough to use it. It isn't clear whether or not he's speaking from experience or just knows what she and her demon is capable of, but leaving that ambiguous kinda allows us to think about him more. Not to mention he's got probably the best lines out of the entire cast.
She can't help him. All she can do is take you straight to hell. Now you go on home. You go home and you bury your boy.
The effects used for Pumpkinhead summoning are never below stunning. The growth of the demon's body is organic. It helps us buy into it to put the small budget to irrelevancy. The way he's brought upon is neat too, as it's not your typical satanic summoning you see in everyday supernatural horror flicks. It has those elements, but Pumpkinhead isn't just some random evil spirit. He's his own character, so it makes sense that it would require a ritual out of the ordinary. The slow reveal for Pumpkinhead is a pretty damn good one. We only get angles from him from afar with a few quick close-up shots to build suspense. Once we actually get a good look at the creature, Stan doesn't disappoint on design or special effects point of view. I'm not sure if this was intentional, but he looks almost like a xenomorph from Aliens if it came literally from hell itself. His skin looks like a burned victim to give that effect, and the lack of pupils in his soulless eyes are pure nightmare fuel. The colorful energy that follows him, I don't know what it is, but there's something about them I liked. I guess it just adds a supernatural effect to an evil entity, so points he comes up only tune in to the fear of a frightening beast going out of his way to kill you, and you got nowhere to go. There's so much life put into this monster's creation, I feel like I can't do them the justice they deserve. But this is a Stan Winston beast we're talking about. Dude had the hands of a god. All you had to do was hand this guy money and a creature concept, and immediately he would come up with some breathtaking work. Most of Richard Stone's and Arnie Schuzel's score only gets the job done. It's not memorable or striking, but I wouldn't have the film without it either. Two of theirs that I did find quite appealing is when Ed is hanging out with his child, as it has a heartwarming but country-style guitar, which works since we're in the South here. The other is Pumpkinhead's. It has a personality of its own that settles a score from a cult that just makes the monster's appearance twice as terrifying. But don't take my word for it, see for yourself. Pumpkinhead is one of my favorite horror movies that come from the 1980s. It's not John Carpenter's The Thing or The Return of Godzilla, but in itself, Pumpkinhead is one I choose to pop in more often than others. The cast aside from the three I brought up aren't great, but they fit their spots in a story like this. The mood is eerie, and Stan Winston provides yet again a monster I don't think anybody will deny is both convincing and scary. That being said, I'm gonna award it a great 8 out of 10 stars. It may have a solid following, but it earned its place up there with films like Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street in my personal opinion. Anyway, that was it for this episode. I was hoping I could do more with this year's Spooktober time / Hollowvember. Like, I had just one more video to work on after this, but I'm gonna save that for another time because the season of November is already ending, so pushing that onto December would just kinda be forceful, don't you think? Anyway, please comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video, please hit that like button, share it around, and subscribe. Make sure to smash that bell for notifications to keep up to date on all my future content, along with checking out my social media accounts and alt tech. All links are in the description down below. This is Daikaiju SpaceZilla, leaving the building.